What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode here on the Community Chest channel, the junk removal service that's taking you from trash out to cash out. This is episode 11 of our weekly series, We Sold That, where we show you our favorite sales that we've made all throughout the week. On a side note, this week I did have some big major changes for myself. If you can't tell already, I got about a 1 foot length haircut. That's right, all the hair on my head is gone, and now I am clean shaved to where I used to be back in high school and my first couple years in college. Like they say, now that I got my haircuts, I should be a lot lighter, faster, and agile, so our junk removal services will be that much quicker than they already are. We drop these videos every Monday, so be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and press that little bell notification so that you're notified every single time we drop a new piece of content. Alright guys, we're gonna get straight into it today. We're gonna start off first with clothing. We had some excellent clothing sales, but our best of the week, we're going to start off here with the Tommy Hilfiger V-neck sweater. This was in that green colorway, and I typically don't pick up Tommy Hilfiger at all when I'm in the thrift stores, but the only reason I did pick this one up is because it's new at tags, and the retail price on it was around 60 bucks, so you can already about half that to expect what you're going to see in sales. So I was expecting around a $30 return, and it sold in a few weeks for $25, free shipping to the buyer. This next item is a super hot topic. We picked up this Pokemon full zip sweater at Bargain Bins on a $2 day. It was a fantastic pickup for us. We only paid $2, and it was a brand new at tags full zip sweater, and it had Pokemon and Pikachu all throughout the front and the back, which is a super hot topic right now. It may even be more popular than Baby Yoda. Y'all debate with me on that one. I have no idea. Baby Yoda and Pikachu are the two top sellers this year. Don't quote me on that. Anyways, this jacket sold immediately for $42.01, leaving us right around $35 of profit. This next item is a little bit in the hypewear section. It is the Travis Scott Astroworld t-shirt with the Wish You Were Here on the back, as well as all the tour dates. This specific tourist t-shirt is very sought after. All of Astroworld merch is selling for really good value, as well as it's selling super fast. So it did sell for $35 all into the buyer, but it sold within 10 minutes of listing. Definitely could have listed this for a higher price. And last for our clothing this week, we have this vintage 90s Westbound two-piece windbreaker suit. It was super cool. The embroidered patterns were all over the place. It had gold with that dark green color. Almost looked like it was Versace or some kind of really high-end designer suit. But it was Westbound, so I knew it was vintage. Right around the 1990s was when it was made. Picked this up at a garage sale. We only paid $5 for it, and we turned around and sold it over the weekend for $42.69 all into the buyer. Great sale for us. Be sure to get those overcoats and winter style stuff listed, as unique stuff like that is gonna sell super fast, as it's an excellent gift for anybody here in this winter time. A couple of months ago, we picked up this pallet from Goodwill. It was a huge pallet full of donations. When the pandemic hit, there was a huge influx of donations, and they didn't know what to do with it, so they literally just started putting it in Gaylord boxes and selling them in bulk like that, which is exactly what we were looking for. They were pretty popular within the reseller community, so I decided to go ahead and give it a chance. We only paid $15 for the entire pallet, so there was really no loss to be taken here. As long as we had at least one thing that sold, then we would be pretty good. Well, it ended up finding over 90% of that stuff was pretty much junk. A lot of VHS movies and tapes like that, things that aren't going to sell for around $1 even. You gotta pay someone to take this kind of stuff. So what we did was donated most of the items back to a different Goodwill, and we kept the good items that we could sell, and this was one of them. So we got this wooden jewelry box. It was kind of like a mini dresser. It was only this big, but it looked like a full-size dresser. It had the little drawers where you could put your jewelry and stick your earrings in at the top. So it was a really unique piece that I knew would sell for good value. It just didn't have a brand or anything behind it, so we couldn't list it as a brand. What we did was we paid special attention to our keywords and our title SEO, which stands for search engine optimization, and really focused on our keywords to sell this product. So we were able to sell it for $26.16 all into the buyer, and it took about a month since listing. Keeping that theme of the thrift store, our next item here is the Callaway Big Bertha driver. These golf clubs are an excellent thing to be on the lookout for, especially if you're in the thrift stores or cleaning out your own garage. The newer stuff is always going to sell for a lot higher dollar value, but the big brands to be on the lookout for are Titleist, Callaway, Sometimes Nike Golf has really nice pieces as well, especially if they're newer as opposed to older. All the older golf stuff is still gonna sell, but it's not gonna sell nearly as close to the retail value as if it was newer. So for example, this Big Bertha driver that we got, we picked up in Goodwill for $199. It was an awesome deal for us. The condition was brand new, and I knew the Callaway brand, especially Big Bertha, is gonna sell for some good value. So this sold for $50, and it sold within a day since listing. If you guys follow our videos, you know we just came across a huge lot of die-cast and collectible model cars as well as construction vehicles. They were all new in the box, and we've been doing pretty well with them. We've been selling them consistently throughout the week, and this week we sold 2 construction vehicles new in the box. First, we have this New Ray Kenworth W900 construction set. This had the truck and tractor in the box, and it was a 1:32 scale. Excellent little item for us. It was brand new in the box, and it sold for $36.54 all into the buyer. Shipping on these items are gonna be around $10, depends on who you use. When we're shipping bigger things, I like to use FedEx, especially if it weighs more, because it's gonna give us a better rate than USPS, as well as it's gonna be insured, and their delivery service to me is sometimes better than USPS when we're talking about bigger items. The next item that we sold was this Peterbilt Kubota orange tractor backhoe. This was a little bit of a bigger model scale. It was 1:18, and it was just the backhoe trailer. So it was a nice piece, brand new in the box, and we sold it for $39.99, free shipping to the buyer. Another excellent item that we recently sold from a junk removal service was this vintage 1993 VTech Smart Start learning system. This is that VTech learning system that you still currently do see, but you see them looking a lot like this nowadays. These are the more modern versions. This was one of the first versions that they had in 1993. Take a look at the box here. Look at the wording and the way they had it. It's pretty interesting how cool these older products are, especially when they're new in box. So I love picking up new in box vintage electronics because not only are they collectible, but they're going to sell for awesome value. So this item that we spent $0 for sold a total price $54.45 all into the buyer. And from that same junk removal, we came across a ton of collectible vintage NASCAR cards, baseball cards, tons of collectible trading cards, and we have about 10 boxes of these baseball 1995 Fleer sets. We're selling each box set for around $25 shipped to the buyer, and this week we sold 2 of them. And for our last topic of the week, we're going to shift gears a little bit from hard goods to shoes. As you know, shoes are one of our favorite things to sell here at TCC. We do very well with them, and I love showing you guys our top couple shoe sales of the week, whether it be profit or just the shoes themselves. We run into a lot of rare or unique shoes, so I like sharing those with you guys. For our first pair of shoes, we have the Asics Gel Cumulus 21. As I've mentioned many times before, Asics is a wonderful brand to be on the lookout for, as long as you're staying towards those more relevant models, 20s, 30s. That era of shoe is gonna sell way better than the older stuff because you're only gonna net like maybe $5-10 per pair of shoes. We paid $4.99 in the thrift store for this, and it sold for $35.02 all into the buyer in just about a week since listing. This next pair of shoes we picked up from my man Justin in a Instagram bio. If you guys ever want to consign or sell something to us, feel free to send us a DM on Instagram or email us at info@thecommunitychests.com, and we'd love to see what you got and work with you there. This pair of shoes was the Converse All-Star Chuck Taylor, but it was a collaboration with DC Comics The Flash. It had a really cool all-over print with the Flash on it, as well as even the inside, it had little Flash logos all over it. So I knew that this was kind of a sought after or a rare collaboration with Converse. That doesn't happen too often. So even though they're not in the best condition, I know they're still gonna sell for some decent value. This unique edition of the Converse shoe sold for $37.99 all into the buyer. We've also come across the other versions of this Converse collaboration with DC. We have the Batman colorway that we sold, I'll put up here, as well as the Superman collaboration that we've sold in the past. We did buy these all at the same time, but this is the last version that we sold, and I think it was the most expensive because it was in the best condition. Moving on, we have this Nike Air Max 2011. This style of shoe is an awesome bolo. The bubble, when it goes all the way around the sole, is always going to sell for some great value. Unless the bubble's busted, you need to check for that. But this pair of shoes retails at around $200, and it hardly ever goes on sale. The most you'll ever see the shoe go on sale is like maybe $169.99 plus shipping. So it's a great shoe to pick up in the thrift or wherever you're doing buyouts. That Air Max bubble affordable is always going to sell for good value. We did pay up for this item in the thrift store. We paid right around $20, but I knew since the condition it was gonna sell like that. Also, it was size 15. As I mentioned in my previous video, larger sizes always sell online for higher dollar value than smaller sizes, just because they're that much harder to get in the store. So with all that being said and done, we sold this pair of shoes for $75 all into the buyer, and it sold within hours of listing. So I definitely think I could have listed it closer to the $100 range, but with the sale being a sale, couldn't really complain. And keeping that theme of Nike Air Max, we have these Air Max 95s. This was the OG version, not the 1995 version, but the one that came out in 2010. It looked exactly like the 95 version. This style is really sought after, as it's one of the first remakes of the OG edition of the shoes. So we were able to pick this up in the thrift store. I got a great deal for it, paid right around $5, and we turned around and sold it for $80, free shipping to the buyer. This item also sold in just a couple days within listing. Alright guys, so now it's time for our sale of the week. This week we did have a thrift store pickup. We paid right around $5 for it, and when we sold it, it sold for just under $120. For our sale of the week this week, we have the Nike Zoom Kobe 8 in the green and gray colorway. This is an extremely sought after shoe. Not only is it sought after because of Kobe himself, the legend who died this past year, but also because the shoe itself is an extremely well-made shoe. Plenty of people who play with this shoe can contest to it and love only playing in this specific style of shoe. It has a really tight mesh upper, as well as the sole includes like some beautiful carbon fiber, as you can see there. And when I used to play soccer, I would only wear shoes that had carbon fiber, as because that's one of the best materials to have the bottom made out of. It's not gonna bend, fold, or crack like any other material. So with that being said, a quick trip to the thrift store netted us over $100 profit in one single sale. That's why I love doing these types of flips. That's like the only reason I do go into these thrift stores, is because I know it's kind of getting flooded and more people are starting to hit these thrift stores. So I'm looking for other sourcing options, but every time I do see a score like this, I cannot turn it down. And there you have it! That's gonna do it for us on episode 11 of our weekly series, We Sold That. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and press that little bell notification so that you're notified every single time we drop a new piece of content. Stay tuned for our new reseller series coming up, as we're gonna be interviewing other resellers, how they resell, and other topics within the reselling genre. Till next time, I'm Nick. Peace out.
She said she got a couple questions that she needed to know. Can I come over? I can be